So the home selling process looks a little bit different than the buying process, of course. When you're selling a home, the first thing you will do is determine what price you're going to list the house for. And you can have an appraisal done, or you can have a market analysis done by the realtor. A market analysis is a free service that's provided to you as part of the listing contract. We have to determine a listing price. After your listing price is determined, you'll sit down with your realtor and go through some marketing techniques. You'll talk about whether or not you need professional photos. You'll do paperwork. You'll go over the listing contract. And then what you'll do is you'll get the home ready to be listed. So you'll clean it, you will get it looking perfect and spotless so that it's ready for showings. During your showings, you can leave for 40 minutes to half an hour, depending on what time the showing is scheduled at, and if you have a couple back-to-back. At some point in time, you're gonna get an offer, of course, that's the goal. You'll get an offer, and then you'll negotiate the offer with your realtor. Once your offer is accepted, you'll work on conditions removal, and then you'll get the house ready for the key handover. And then you'll sign documents with your lawyers, and you'll get paid your sale proceeds. What you should look for in a listing agent is somebody who communicates with you, and somebody who communicates with you often. You want a listing agent who will fill you in on what's happening with the market. You want a listing agent who will tell you if there have been any homes in your neighborhood that have sold that would affect your current list price. Your listing agent should provide to you exceptional marketing. The goal is to make the listing look as good as possible so that you can get it in front of as many buyers as possible, because you need a buyer to buy the home. The listing agent's responsibilities are to schedule showings with you to make sure that you know about the showings and you have enough time to get out of the house. Some of the other responsibilities of the listing agent would be to provide any and all information about the property to buyers and to the buyer's agents. Some of the other responsibilities would be to make sure that the listing is performing well online. A listing agreement is the contract between the seller and the realtor's brokerage, outlining the terms and conditions of the sale, such as whether you can post public photos, desired possession date, the price, the address. It's pretty much just the document that has all of the details on your home. So a market assessment is an assessment done by the realtor that looks for comparable property in the area that has sold or is currently active. And when you pick out those sold comparables and you make adjustments based on location, square footage, bedrooms, anything that's different from that listing or those listings compared to your home, that's how we gauge your market price. So if 3 listings sold for $330,000 and your house is identical to theirs, you should ideally list for $330. Or a little bit higher so that you leave yourself some room to negotiate. But essentially, the market analysis is determined by comparable property. If you list your home too high, what will happen is you either won't get any showings, or you will get showings and you won't get an offer because the buyers will see that it's overpriced based on what else they've looked at in the neighborhood. One of the other things that will happen when you are overpriced is that you'll see that you have tons and tons and tons of showings and nothing will happen to your listing. They say if you have 10 successful showings, then you should see at least 1 offer from them. Preparing your home for a sale really comes down to how proactive you want to be as a seller. What I can provide for you is a checklist of things that you should go through before your home hits the market. Those things include decluttering, wiping down the walls, paying attention to some exterior details. One of the things that I provide for my clients as part of my service is a staging consultation. And of course it depends on the home, but that's just a consultation where a stager comes in and they try to move some of your items around or add something or take something away just to make the home look as good as physically possible for all of the showings and for the photos. So while your home is listed on the market, buyers will call and they will schedule showings. The buyer will schedule a showing for 6 o'clock, for example. You need to be out of the home by 5:50 and you need to be gone until at least 6:30. They say you're supposed to give the buyers about 40 minutes of showtime. If the buyer likes your house, they'll be in it for half an hour. If they don't like your house, they'll be in it for 10 minutes. I like to think that I market a little bit differently. I use a variety of platforms, primarily online because I think that's where people are looking the most. When I advertise property online, I use Facebook, Instagram. I will write a keyworded blog article so that when people are looking for houses for sale in North Regina, for example, your listing should pop up on Google because the blog article will be optimized for that keyword. I have sent out just listing postcards with open houses on them. That kind of thing has been really successful. Depending on your home, there are tons of things we can do to market your home and get it in front of as many buyers as possible. When the buyer makes an offer on your home, you and I will sit down and we will go through the offer to purchase. We will look at the price they offered. We'll look at the conditions, we will look at the possession date, and then we will look at anything else they included. And what we will do from there is we will either accept the offer or we will write a counter offer to better reflect your wants and needs out of the house sale. When a buyer writes an offer on your property and you accept the offer or you get an accepted counter offer, you enter into about a 7 to 10 day conditions removal period. And during that point in time, the buyer has 7 to 10 days to have their home inspection, to get their financing put in place, and to have everything and anything else they need done in order to go ahead with the purchase. During that time, you're kind of just hanging out, waiting for the buyer to finish all of their stuff so that they can remove conditions. The buyer will let us know whether or not they can go ahead with the purchase, and conditions are removed when the buyer sends you a document called Notice to Remove Conditions. Sellers are required to disclose any known defects in the home. So if you've ever had previous water damage, basement issues, roof issues, those are the kind of things you should disclose. The buyer is responsible for investigating the property to the best of their ability, but in order to remove your responsibility to the buyer, you should just disclose any known issues and then you don't have to worry about it going forward. Preparing for possession day would require you to pack all of your stuff up and get it out of the house, of course. One thing that we recommend sellers do is to give the home a really deep and thorough clean. And we recommend that because possession day is the focal point of the process for the buyers. And if they come into the home and it's dirty and messy and the sellers have left a whole bunch of stuff behind, then the buyer is upset, the buyer's agent is upset, and the buyer's agent is coming back to me so that I can come back to you, and I don't want to do that. So preparing for possession day is really just about cleaning the house and making it look great for the buyers. On possession day, the buyer's lawyer will transfer funds to you, and then your lawyer will disperse whatever money you made off of the sale. They will send that stuff to you. All you have to do is give me the keys and everything else will be taken care of.